Welcome to the Love Pod, where inspiration, vision, and real connection come alive. Wherever you are, you belong here.
Rick Kroll, we are so pleased to have you here on the Love Pod. We're really inspired by your submission, your video, your mission. We're really pleased to have you here as a spiritual teacher and an author. I know this is going to be a really interesting conversation, so let's just dive right in, and I invite you to share about yourself, your journey, and what brought you here today.
Oh my. I could go on for hours.
Let's do it. I'm no time limit here, so.
Oh
We turn
wow.
into a 6 hour podcast, then I'll have to explain to my wife later.
Oh, what a story. I don't know how far back. See, I'm just a regular human, but I don't know how far back it starts. I mean, it could have been my whole life.
Hmm.
Because when I was 10, I um I was playing baseball. I wore glasses. I don't wear glasses anymore.
Hmm.
The vision just increased. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but you want to know from the beginning.
Absolutely.
When I,
Hey, yeah.
when I was 10 years old, I was playing center field, the Cardinals, and I was, afraid to wear glasses. People make fun of you and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But I needed glasses. They put
Hmm.
me out in center field. I couldn't see nothing.
Oh my goodness.
And as far as it was really hot, and as far as and we lost every game, losing every game, every game, every game. Then we were up by one. It was the ninth inning, two men on base. And I'm there. Oh God, is it hot? I'm gonna die. And as far as all of a sudden the ball's hit, I don't see it. I don't see it coming. My mother's in the stand watching this whole thing. She said, "Look, the ball's hit. He don't see it. He's not paying attention."
Oh my
I
goodness.
take my hat off because it's so hot. And as soon as I leveled it out, the ball went in it
Oh wow.
from center field unknowingly. This is all unknowingly. And my mother's there, good eye, Rick, good eye. And people looking at her like, good eye. The guys didn't pay attention to it. But I remember when I leveled the hat, the ball went right in it. The exact, I'm taking it down.
Wow. Wow.
Ball go in it. So I don't know
Hmm.
how long this started. When did this started? This is when I could say when I was 10.
Yeah.
I didn't have these big experiences till well, just a few years ago. You see, um, let's see which way to go. I was always a spiritual, interested in the spiritual, something beyond us.
Yes.
But I never, I was in it was an organization called Eckankar.
Hmm.
I liked it. We had a good time. I read a lot. It taught me a lot, but I never had the experiences that proclaimed
Hmm.
to have.
Yeah.
See, my interest was there, but I didn't know where to go, and this seemed like the thing to do at the time.
Hmm.
I was led really to this by some girl. Anyway, I got through that, and but the real meat and potatoes happened 2017 on the way to the beach at sunrise.
Hmm.
I was just driving along, and I had a thought, and it said, "Blah, blah, blah." I go, yeah, well, that's right. Thought comes in. I go, that's right. Then another thought comes. I go, well, if that's right, then that's right. I said, well, yeah, that's right. And then this
Hmm.
one, and then boom, 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 boom. Thoughts rushing into my head, explode, boom, boom, boom. I pulled over. I
Hmm.
cried. I was crying
Hmm.
streams. Why was I crying? I was crying for everybody who didn't have what I did, what I
Hmm.
just experienced. I felt so sorry for them. I
Okay.
just cried for 20 minutes. It's just
Hmm.
uncontrollable. All right. And then after that, I said, after I got through this, I said, I got to go find my people.
Hmm.
And as far as I'm there, but where? I didn't know. I've been watching a movie, some YouTubes on Thailand, and beautiful place. It was just so beautiful. I was drawn there. I had to go there. I had to. It
Hmm.
was a do or die situation.
Yeah.
So I said, I, I, I think I'm going to go to Thailand. I mean, I got to go because after this
Hmm.
epiphany, this grand thing. But then a week goes by, And I said, oh shit, Thailand, man, it's so hot over there and so far. And then I talked to this girl. I was telling her this thing. I go, and she was a world traveler. She traveled a lot. And she yells at, I told her one of the reasons I don't want to go. And she screams at me, go. And I go, I'm going. I
Divine
go, no girl's going
breadcrumbs.
to tell me, you little mouse, you're not going. I go, I'm going. I am going.
Hmm.
So now watch how things start lining up. Unbelievable. But as soon as I had the realization, the girl played her part in it. I was like on the fence of not going.
Hmm.
This is a big thing that's about to tell you. Okay, the girl told me, screamed at me, go, and I'll go. And so I go, well, what am I going to do? So I go to Airbnb and I type in, look for a place, and all the Airbnbs, scroll down, and I picked this particular one. For when I got realized it was a setup from there on.
Hmm.
Everything I did was supposed to be,
Mhm.
right? So I picked this particular Airbnb. And she told me how to get there and everything like that, and what to tell the taxi driver, how much it will cost. Give him this paper, print it out, give it to him, and he'll take me to. So I get there. I go to taxi and stuff. I get to her Airbnb. She's the sweetest person I ever seen. So good, so nice. She goes, it was a 21-hour flight. Even though I flew business class, I was beat. It's an ordeal
That's a
business
long flight,
class.
man. That's a long flight.
So she goes, it was a guest house, a big house with rooms. So she goes, there's a shower over there. I go, yeah, right. I'm big, man. I'm destroyed. So I take the shower and she has some food at the communal table and left it for me. And she would
Hmm.
keep popping her head out, like you see a roach you didn't know if you see. As far as she'd pop her head out, see if I'm all right. It was sweet. Now, the point after this is now, just unknowingly, now watch these coincidences. I picked a Songkran festival to come on.
Hmm.
What the heck is Songkran festival? It's Thai New Year's.
Okay.
I just happened to pick this. This is all random,
Yeah.
not knowing nothing. Okay. And so I go, what's Songkran? What's that? Everybody gets out, the whole country goes out in a part and squirts each other with big super soaker water guns.
That sounds
And
like
I got
fun.
to tell you how much fun that is.
Yeah, I can
You
imagine.
wouldn't believe how much fun that is. And that's just a little sideline that I picked up. The Songkran Fest. It's fun. And in the Airbnb, I met this Chinese girl that she goes, you want to come with us? And I go, yeah. And she was from China and she had two friends who didn't speak English at all, but she did. Vivian. So me and Vivian, oh, we had a blast. And she goes, I just came back from Chiang Mai. I go, where's that?
Hmm.
She said, Northern City in Thailand. I go, is it good? She goes, yeah, you got to go. I go, really? She goes, yeah, go. Vivian played her part. Now
Hmm.
watch, I'm building a story here.
Yeah.
So I go, oh, okay. So the owner of the Airbnb, I didn't know how to type the reservation. I don't know. I'm not computer literate or phone
Okay.
literate. So she did the thing at the particular time. Timing is everything. And she typed it in, made the reservation, first seat, first row, Thai Airlines. All right. They bring me there. So I'm sitting on a plane, and then the strangest looking couple comes sitting next to me. I go, oh Lord. And you had to see it to believe it. And he was big as hell. I go, oh my God, he's going to spill into my seat. So I'm there. Well, we were just fine. And I heard him speak English. And I said, you speak English? He goes, yeah. That was it. Kaboom. The energy between me, him, and his wife, I mean, kaboom. The charisma, the
Hmm.
perfectly fit energy blew my mind and blew their mind. Couldn't
Hmm.
believe it. You wouldn't believe. Well, maybe I'll let it all hang out. She knew it too.
Hmm.
And we started talking, and I was afraid to go with them because I know about the Thailand scams, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was at the point, I don't care. let's go. I don't care what happens. I'm at the point where let it happen the way it's going to happen.
You're trusting.
Trusting. So I get there, we start talking, and we went out to eat. Oh my God. Him, his sister, and his wife. Oh my God. The connection was so strong. And then I find out that he is the nephew of the Prime Minister of Thailand.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the nephew. They got the same last names. His aunt and uncle were the Prime Minister. One called Thaksin, the other called Yingluck. Brother and sister were both Prime Ministers of Thailand.
Oh,
And I'm
interesting.
going to tell you something that's, before a side note, that's really strange. My wife's birthday, I went alone. My wife's birthday is the same as Thaksin, right?
Okay.
My wife's parents were both born on the same day as each other, as Yingluck.
Wow.
This is a setup. This is a big time setup for all this to happen.
Yeah.
Their parents to have my wife at the Thaksin's birthday and them to meet at having the same birth. Crazy. I mean, we're starting to get into stuff that's
Yeah.
but I mean, sometimes it's worth hearing. Okay, we connect big time, and we go. I was with them the whole month I was there every day. And here's the thing: they were going to get married, just them two. They were going to Chiang Mai, where Thaksin's stepbrother, lives. You know, and they were going to get married. They thought I was out of my mind, so I tried to call them, and I couldn't make it. I just went on a trip. I go, they probably think I'm nuts. They probably think I'm out. You know, they started talking to me, and I started talking, and I go, man, they probably think I'm nuts. So screw him. He's nuts. So they didn't think I was nuts, and we were together every day.
Wow.
I mean, to be with locals showing, and every night, every day we went someplace and did something. And they were they were doing the marriage thing, you know. So and then well, that's the good part. Now we went every day, and we went to the mall one day, right? And in the mall, the mall is 8-story malls, one connects into another. Grandiose. You never use that word, grandiose. For what? There's nothing grandiose here. So we went to Thailand's unbelievable, let me tell you. And anyway,
Julie has been there. She's told me a lot, and specifically about Chiang Mai as well. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so we go to the mall, and we pass this one stall that has this fine cotton clothes, really fine. I think it's called green, organic green, whatever, something like that. But it's really fine material. I mean, I never felt anything like that. So soft, just getting to something. So soft, but it's so well made, real high quality. So I get a couple of shorts and shirts and stuff like that, and we go along. I'll get back to that in a second. And then, okay, we go out the whole trip, go out the whole month, time to go. And when I left them, it was like I was in a bubble, and I came out of the bubble. The energy was strong, real strong. And we had experiences, and that's where I got the quote that I use in my book: the extraordinary becomes ordinary. That's Thailand. You know why? Because the energy flows over there. You know why again? Because everybody's the same. Everybody thinks the same, the energy flows. You know, I think this way, just, you know, like
Interesting
that.
perspective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I got back, and I was a writer. I was writing. I carried a soft briefcase with me where I went in Thailand for, you know, just carried it all the time. And I kept my pads in there and stuff. And so we got home, and I got home back in the States, and I left a pen I put a pen in my pants pocket in the washing machine. And unknowingly, while the clothes were swishing around in the washing machine, an intelligence beyond human came into the water where the pen was and exploded the pen. And it made this.
Yeah,
Look, can you see it?
oh yeah, it's a unicorn
Unicorn?
for sure. It's definitely a very clear unicorn.
Now, what I'm talking about, it's a distinctive picture that
Yeah,
I put on my book.
that's amazing. Yeah, very,
You
very
know, it's a
unique.
distinctive picture.
Yeah.
And you can see the head, the back feet, the tail, the body. And if you look close, there's a little underneath, there's a little like pop,
Okay.
right? A
Yeah.
little pot with lines coming out of it, tracing the unicorn
Yeah.
around the head, down the back.
Yeah.
You can see it much better in the book.
Okay.
But I mean, it proves the reality of an intel. When you identify that as a unicorn, it proves the reality of intelligence beyond human.
Mm-hmm.
The direct proportion, nothing wrong, or where you got to stretch your imagination. Ah, unicorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
An intelligence made that
Yeah.
beyond human now. And when I seen that, it got on my favorite pants.
Oh
I
no.
wasn't happy. It got on my sock. It got on a few other blobs, but that was in my face.
Mm.
It looked at me. I looked at it. I said, "Oh God!" It just blew my mind. And it's really not about the image. It's about the intelligence that made the image.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I mean? It
Yeah.
proved its reality just in
Yeah. Well,
what I mean, the intelligence itself.
you say, "Oh God," and it's literally because it's literally became literature, so it's pretty funny. You say that.
And it compelled me to write this book,
Hmm.
Finding Your Greater Self Through Writing.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. It's my first book. I
Amazing.
have no experience writing. I hated English, hated school, never did anything big in my life.
Mm.
But I mean, the intelligence that created this came into me and would wake me up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And I had to end with information.
Hmm. Yep.
If I didn't get up, it wouldn't let me sleep. It took hold of me.
Okay.
I
Okay.
surrendered to it. I said, "Yeah, you're going to do it." I said, "Yes." It doesn't talk, but you think it's you. You
Yeah.
think it's like
Yep.
inside you, but it's not like, "Hey, buddy, why don't you do this?" Then you're
Yeah.
like, "Well, that's a good idea. Hey, I think I'll do that."
Mm.
You know?
Yep.
And I said, I'm going to write a book.
Mm.
And they said, and my friend says, "You're a writer now?" I'm there, "Yeah, I'm writing a book." They said, "What?" They couldn't believe it. I mean, I was a trailer park manager at the time,
Mm.
and I never did really anything, nothing really big in my life. I just try to get by and this and that, little up, little down. But when after I got realized I got a setup happened in my life and it never let go.
Yeah.
Like to me, it never let go. And the books I have, well, my second book, Merging with Your Greater Self Workbook. Did you see?
Yeah, I can see that. And
You,
you've brought up the term being realized a few times, Richard. Maybe for those listening here who don't really understand what you're saying, can you elaborate on that and what you mean by
sure,
that?
sure. I was there.
You're a great storyteller, by the way. I appreciate you, and I
I
actually
tried.
have a lot that I'd like to ask you about and comment on your story as
Sure.
well. So, but I'd love to hear.
Oh,
I think this is important context
sure.
for all of
Okay.
us.
Yeah. Look at the realization. All right. Driving to the beach at sunrise. Everything came in. But here's the thing. I seen how everything was connected.
Hmm.
Everything is connected. And that's how I write. I don't write for people. No, I write for the part of me that's in them. This is
Hmm.
personal.
Hmm.
This is real personal. This
Hmm.
is me and the greater part of me connecting.
Hmm.
I mean, but the part of me, the greater part of me is in you and
Hmm.
is in everybody.
Yes.
We're all one. We come from the same source.
Yeah.
We're all one. That's the whole thing. And you know the thing is, we're all cluttered too much into mind.
Hmm.
You know, we're cluttered into mind, and we don't allow it to come in.
Hmm.
You know, with past programs,
Yeah.
right? Um, trauma and all our hang-ups given to us by well-meaning but uninformed advisors such as your
Yeah.
mother and
Yeah.
father, or whoever
Yeah.
raised you.
Yeah, we certainly are conditioned to have beliefs that limit our connection to that
Well, we were
intelligence.
open and vulnerable.
Yeah.
As kids, what's going on? How we live over here? Oh,
Yeah.
this is it. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then we build our life about money
Hmm.
don't grow on trees,
Yeah. Yeah.
build our life around these stupid things that the well-meaning but uninformed advisors, they were well-meaning. They didn't know.
Yeah. And they're
But now
repeating.
comes
Oh, I'm just saying they're just repeating things me
what
like
they learned
exactly. Yeah.
by
Yeah.
people who are in a depression.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny you mentioned the depression because one of the people who has been really a guide on my journey, and now like in non-physical form, he's the one who really introduced me to the understanding that a meme is not this funny little image with a, on the internet. A meme is a mind virus, and that's what you're talking about. It's like these shared aphorisms and beliefs that people just pass on and really do infect one another that really gives us these assumptions about life. Like it's funny that, in the past, people say this, that money doesn't grow trees, even though literally most money is made from paper. Now we've
Ah,
moved into petroleum paper here, like where we are. The state still uses paper for money. So, anyways, it is funny, and I mean, so many ways trees do provide us money, whether it's fruit growing on trees or
yeah,
paper is made on, so many products are made from trees. So it's like such a weird belief that is spread.
true, true. Now, I got to tell you, oh God, I got to tell you that people are not going to get anywhere unless they write. I
Mm,
got to give it to you straight. There's no time to waste.
mm,
There's no time. You have to get this now
mm,
because what's coming now in down the pike in the short future is going to overwhelm people.
mm, mm, mm,
Overwhelm, and it's coming real soon. And if
mm.
you don't control it 100%, it's going to control you.
So
Whoa.
So let's explore that, Richard. I mean, I don't think you're alone in this feeling of, that there is massive transformation coming on the planet. I mean, the writing is on the walls in a lot of way. I mean, and we're seeing kind of this interesting juxtaposition. And it's funny because you mentioned. I just want to rewind a little bit what you were talking about. I really loved how you opened the story talking about the baseball catching. You're really an excellent storyteller. And to me, listening all the way through, there's lots of words that people use. I also, with my awakening journey, I experienced many things that I didn't know to call them synchronicities. We've heard of serendipities. To me, I literally described it from my voice as like when you go into the unknown, life takes care of you. That was my language back there. Like there's some intelligence beyond me that was aligning things. Like when I first, I felt moved to go on a hitchhiking quest.
Mm,
And I just knew I wasn't telling anyone what I was doing. I wasn't organizing my trip. I just knew I had to do it. It was on my heart, and I did. And my first day, I got to now where we're staying right now, where I met my wife, is in Ottawa, and I there was all these synchronicities that happened, and I tried to reach some friends that I know not very well, but I went to their wedding, and they said, "Hey, if you ever need anything, you need like connect with us. Here's our phone number." I called them from the University of Ottawa. I like had my backpack, and I had a tarp. I didn't even have a tent. I'm like, I'm gonna just tarp it. I'm just gonna follow life. I ended up their phone was disconnected. I tried calling them, no number. I called my parents from a payphone and I said, look, there's no number. I'm just going to continue across the border into Quebec. And my intention was like to visit some family, get them know them on my terms, and visit some of the past places that caused some trauma for me, especially in the education system, which is synchronistically why we're doing this. But I ended up running into the woman named Jody walking her dog at a corner in a city of 1 million people, and all these times. So that was where my mind, and also the weather was like perfect. My whole journey, the day I returned
wow.
home was it went to like I went during the fall, so it could have been cold and rainy and even snow. The day I got back to home, that's when the fall and winter started. It was like there's so many like things like that happen. I was like, okay, this is life. Like there's an intelligence here. So I started having similar realizations. And it's funny. I wanted to ask you, have you heard the term, because you brought it up, you colored it so well. Have you heard the term pronoia?
No.
So pronoia is like the juxtaposition of paranoia, and people so often talk about conspiracy as this, agenda that people have like to do things to humanity. I think George Carlin talked about it well. He said, when you have a bunch of selfish people getting together, you're gonna find ways to like, profit over people. But prono like conspiracy literally means to breathe together, right? So when we're breathing together, and I loved how you painted this image of Thailand, of all these people squirting, themselves with each one another with super soakers and having so much fun, and they're all breathing this view of life together. Where in the West, we still are wrestling with these very polarized, are you on the right side or the left side? Are you
Uh,
blue or red? And that doesn't create a society where we can just get on the street and do that. So I think that's really cool. And so paranoia in opposition to pronoia, or pronoia is when you recognize the universe is conspiring in your favor, that there is an intelligence that is there to
mhm.
guide every part of you. So I mean,
Oh,
you really, I just wanted to kind of bring this all together because I think that your realization, we talk about as our awakening, to remember who we are, like Neil Donald Walsh says too. We're
truly are.
remembering our connection. We're seeing that we're all one, and
Mm,
it really paints, the I think the true underpinning message of Yeshua and other masters of consciousness who had these awakenings, these realizations themselves,
sure.
and then taught about it from their unique lens. Like the golden rule is all about that. It's not about pleasing this intelligence, however you want to refer to it. It's really about recognizing the truth that we are brother and sister connected to the same source. We're brother and brother, you and I meeting here in this serendipitous moment that was meant to be so we could help, share your mission and your vision. So, anyways, I didn't want to derail too much from your story, but you said so much. I just wanted to kind of bring it back because
Okay.
I think your mission, you clearly are passionate about reaching people. You've written a book helping them through writing, and I just want to kind of bring it back to this important act of writing and ask you, why is it so important that people write and not do some other thing? Why is that act, like you say, important to do right now?
That was the exact thing I was just about to say.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm going to tell you. Remember, I was saying, I don't know if I should tell you, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't write. Why? Because thoughts are like smoke. You can't grasp smoke.
Mm,
But the only way you're going to bring the invisible into the visible is through writing. You
mm,
grab that thought, this, and then when you write, that thought becomes physical as soon as you write.
mhm,
Then the next step is to take action, of course.
mhm,
You see it, you can never unsee it, right? Once you write it down, it just flows right through you, the thought you grasp. We constantly have thoughts all around us all the time. The thing is, we're too cluttered inside with everything,
mhm,
past, future, who's doing what you did to them, what they did to you, what they think of you, what you think,
mhm,
so many things. You
mhm,
can't get centered, right? And then receive when you're centered. It is all about you, but remember, you won't get anywhere unless you're right, because that's where you connect with your greater part of you.
mhm,
You can't expand on a thought inside your head, but you could on writing. You
mhm,
can't stretch it out.
mhm.
I have techniques now. Where brings us to the workbook.
Amazing, amazing.
You know
Let's
what
hear
this
it.
guy, the front cover is on this one? You wouldn't know.
It
But
looks like it
see,
looks like a flying, either it looks like a hummingbird,
that's it.
or is it?
That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Putting its beak into some kind of hole.
Yeah,
And it,
yeah, yeah.
and here's the kicker on that. Um,
And
well,
hummingbird is a
actually, I
wonderful teacher of joy, right?
well,
There's
actually, I have it right here. I'll just give you the original. That's more the original. I could show you a picture of something, but you'll never get it till you see the original.
Oh wow.
Here it is, 20 years ago.
Wow.
Now, if you could see that, there's an eye actually.
Yeah.
This is when bleach spilt on my yoga mat. I went to Publix to buy 1 gallon of bleach, that's all.
Mm,
So I go get my bleach, and I didn't put it in my trunk for some reason. This is 20, more than 20.
mm.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, but and then I said I better I opened my back door instead, and I go, oh shit, you better put your yoga mat under that bleach. It may
Mm.
spill. So I get home, I take the bleach out, then I go to yoga next day. And I go, hey, look at that. The bleach had made an imprint on the yoga mat. Blew my mind again. This is even longer, this is at least 20 years ago. And some people didn't see it. I
Mm.
mean, you got the bird, you got the wings, and you don't see it? No, I don't see it. Okay. But anyway, and it's on a sideways lotus flower. Perfect.
Oh, it's actually on the flower on the mat. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
on the mat. And
Wow.
what I do, and this is you see, that was my first book. This is my
Mhm.
first book, but the second book, ooh,
Yeah, yeah,
what I did to you. What I learned from this first book. I
yeah,
put the principles and practices that I learned in this second book. I
yeah,
was already there. This is an evolution of my consciousness.
yeah.
And here's the kicker. I knew I couldn't do it with one. I
Mm,
had to do two.
mm.
And that's all I'm doing is two. No more,
Okay.
even though I got writing, I could do many.
Why
It's
why
so
would you why
difficult
would you limit yourself?
because if I can't do it with two, I can't do it at all.
Well, that's probably a slap in the face to a lot of authors out there. Like speaking of Wayne Dyer, he wrote, I don't know,
I
50
know
books
him.
or
I
something.
talked to him personally on the phone.
Okay, well,
And
really, hey?
actually, my wife has his dog. It's Serena's dog, their
Oh,
dog.
really? Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. Wow.
I know
That's
them
really
well.
fascinating. That's really fascinating. See, there's actually been a number of synchronicities in this conversation alone. I just want to, before you go into the workbook, Rick, it's funny when I saw the yoga mat, what I noticed right away was the boot up top that reminded me of Italy.
I
It
didn't know
because
what that was.
well,
It's
to
like,
me, it's the boot of Italy, and because actually our dream is to have a summer home in Italy, so that we can give our children that experience of culture and food that's
good.
not sprayed with
You
stuff, and
know it.
real that connection of culture, like you talk about, where everyone is like understanding that quality of life is more important than just grinding and achievement, but really enjoying
Yes.
life is very important. And so when I saw that, and the hummingbird to me means joy. My background is actually indigenous wellness, and I've had many animal teachers and totems come to me at different points in my journey as messengers. I think our creator, or that loving intelligence that you speak of, to me, it speaks to us in all ways. It's us to recognize and notice, and also to realize that we are also involved in the creative act. Like you've taken these beautiful physical expressions of that intelligence, and what I love is you've put it on the cover of books. I don't know anyone else who has done that, so that to me gives you a very unique voicing. And it to me, it's like a bridge. Like you've used these books to honor that creative expression that has been guided to you. And I think this is my personal contemplation, and also my reflection of the foundational principles of our educational association are found in the Christ letters. And for you or others who have not heard of the Christ letters were a recorded testament through about originally they were 7 letters and a series of articles. Two of those letters had A's and B parts, so now they're published as nine letters, and a series of follow-up messages that where Yeshua, or known as Jesus, talks about his real experience in the desert. Very similar to you, he had this profound realization of the oneness. He talks about like you were in your Jeep, and just this total embodiment of this loving intelligence that took over his whole beingness, and led him to this place of a total cleansing of his humanhood, so that he could really teach and be such a profound um, channel, or a hollow bone of those
Right.
teachings of that intelligent love. And through the letters, he explains why he was able to perform all the miracles that he was able to do, and that wasn't really the point. It's funny seeing it from this lens, but he talked about the miracles like that demonstrated was really to just to get people to listen to him, but he wanted to share people the teaching And it's the work that you're doing. He's like he wanted people to connect to that source of intelligence for themselves. He didn't want to go around being the special one. That's why he told us like you
No.
two can do these things and greater. Unfortunately, and perhaps just synchronistically, his true autobiography was covered over, and the religious dogma of his time was put on his persona. And he explains why, that occurred, and why his disciples chose to do that to protect themselves and to keep the Jewish people together. And so it does challenge dogmatic beliefs, but just to kind of bring it back to what you're doing, like all of these synchronicities, these ways of that intelligence is speaking to us and showing us how interconnected we are, and how it's so important that we lift one another up through our consciousness. That's
Yes.
that's our mission. So like this is my really long and drawn out way of saying like I really appreciate you. I appreciate your beautiful story, your presence, most importantly, and also this really valuable message you have of helping people to connect with that themselves. Because you're not trying to be the special one. Like I feel like
No.
it's so important that the leaders of our time, the in whatever way they are, authors, speakers, teachers, that we really remind people to go within themselves and that we don't become the guru of other people, right? Because you spoke. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you did talk about this in
Sure.
your introduction video, and
Sure.
how that there is that kind of pattern in the like the greater coaching and self-help world.
Oh, yes. This is this is my thing. This is what I do. It's how I live, my being. Oh man, you talked of so many things. Now, I don't know which one to hit first. I have so many things that you talked about. I
Yeah,
mean, it'll all come out in a wash. It'll
I'm
all come
sure it
out.
will. Hey, just like the unicorn. I didn't even talk to you about how unicorn is significant to me. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll have to have a second part to this conversation there.
Let's see. Let's see if I can let's see if I could get it all come out in a wash. This is a long subject,
Yeah,
this
I
could
know.
go on.
I know.
But let me say, let's see if I think it'll come out. Let me just tell you about this masterpiece that I did here. I said to my friend after the seventh time I edited it, I got it down this time. I know I got it down this time, and it's it's available. It'll be available this week on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
But
So this is just coming out
everybody,
as a release. Okay,
yeah, no,
amazing.
no, no, it's out, but it's not
Okay.
in the prime form.
Okay, got you.
I made this so much better. It's like a whole nother book.
Okay, amazing.
Oh my God. Whew. Now, what I did to it, I do this, it's personal, remember,
Yep.
personal. I
Yep.
do it for myself, to my soul, not for people, but everybody's being there connected, they benefit,
Mm,
right? It takes hold of you. I
mm,
know how I have to know certain things in order to do things. I have to know them. I have to know the consciousness of human. I have to know what they're capable of, how they start. All I expect is you have to have a desire, the
mm,
strong desire. I want to know, I want to connect, I want to know how much there is in life, how much there is to a human.
mm.
I want to know it. And that's why you get so many people searching, but they're not finding
Yeah.
because nobody gives them a direction in life, a
Yeah.
direction of how to live 24/7, to live it, not just the self help gurus, we'll call them. You see, they talk good, but I refer them as air words. They sound good at the time, but then a week or two goes by and boom, they're
Mm,
back to the same old life, the same old thing, and nothing changed. I
mm,
know a girl who read 130 self-help books. Nothing.
mm,
Didn't have it. They didn't have it. Why? Because they weren't offered a direction.
mm,
You must have a direction. You're not just words. Everything's oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's
mhm,
interesting.
mhm,
But no, no, no. Tell me how to live. Tell me what to do to advance and grow.
mhm,
Tell
mhm.
me. And if you can't tell me, I'm lost
Yeah.
because it'll take decades to find on your own if ever,
Mm,
if the person who does it already doesn't tell you.
yeah.
Now, the book over here, I love this book. This is my soul. I put my soul into this. This is like my life's mission, this
Mm,
book.
that's
So
beautiful.
what do I do? How do I do? It consists of 5 phases. 5 phases. And everything,
Love the
everything I
graphic.
had to think about. You see this little sunburst?
Yep, I
That's
do.
a symbol of the greater self in the pyramids. I had to buy this. Right?
Okay, okay.
Now I got 5 phases. Now, you see, the intelligence takes me over, but it makes me think I'm doing it,
Hmm.
right? Now, originally, these 365 um, short, you see, they're really short,
Hmm.
short 365 short quotes of inspiration and wisdom were originally going to be a calendar. I said, I
Okay.
think I'll make a calendar, put a picture and a thing.
Yeah.
I still may make it a calendar, but it said, hey, what? I didn't even know this thing was going to be a workbook. I had no idea. It took me over. I said, hey, you know what this is? I go, well, a workbook. A workbook. Yeah, it is. You're right. It doesn't speak words, it's
Yeah.
impressions.
Yep. Yep. I
Now,
understand. Yeah. I
you
I can
see,
relate.
and here's the reason why I started with small 2-line quotes. Because when you have a thought, you only could get, it's like, da, 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 da. It's like, oh, yeah, all right, that's good. You don't get a whole paragraph
Mm,
of thought. Oh, your brain ain't set up for that.
yeah.
It doesn't work like that. Your thought, which we'll get to how to use them, um, yeah, you only get so much. You can't get a big thought unless you take that writing
Hmm.
and expand on that thought and expand on it through writing. This is coming up soon. So and then you'll see the rest of the story.
Mm,
You see what I mean?
yep.
There's a story to that little thought you
Oh
had
yeah. Yep.
swirling around. But until you take, you can't remember. You can't expand in your brain. You can't expand your
Hmm.
mind. Only on paper. I told somebody to do this. Do this technique. He goes, I did what you told me. I got home. I have a technique. Oh God, this is gonna go on forever. Uh, where you carry a little pad with you
Yeah.
throughout the day, and your mission is to any thought you have, idea or inspiration, write it down wherever
Hmm.
you are. Pull
Yep.
over
Yep.
in your car if you're driving and you have it.
Hmm.
Make paying attention to the inner you number one priority,
Hmm. Hmm.
because it is. That's
Yep.
the thing that's going to get you more than you could ever do on your own.
Yeah.
You won't be able
I
to do
agree
it.
with
You'll be
that
a
very
regular
much.
person. You'll be one of many instead of one of few.
Mm,
One
mm,
of many who just goes about life instead of one of few who does great things.
mm,
Pay attention inwardly. Now, that
mm,
person that did what I told them wrote it at the top, the idea or thought, whatever he had. He got home, he put in his big pad, and he said, the next, I got that. Then I say, whatever comes through, write it down. So he says, the next thing I know, I got a full pad and a full page, and I'm crying. You see the
mm.
rest of the story.
Mm,
You see, it's
yep.
there.
Yep.
And this increases your self-esteem.
Mm,
Hey, wait, maybe I'm smarter than I thought I was.
yeah.
Because I thought, oh, okay, now some people say, well, I got to go eat, got to go this, got to go that. But you see, proving to you increases your self-esteem that you are
Mm,
much more than you thought you were. I
hmm.
wasn't just this thing, I was this full page.
Yeah.
And through writing, you make yourself smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I mean, you ask me, am I smart? I'm so smart. I made myself smart, and you could do it too. Everybody could do it. And it's only done through writing because you can expand inside your head. Now, phase two. Remember, there's 5 phases. And here's,
Can I pause before you get to phase two? Because I think
go
this
ahead.
is really an important discussion that I like to have with folks. Is this idea? I think we've been conditioned a lot through the education system to like label some people as smart or some people as this or that. And it's funny you talk about that intelligence coming into you more and more. I mean, I just I think it's a universal consciousness. You talk about, that we all come from as the same source. And I think that for me, because I do write a lot and I do write down my inspirations as best I can, even if I have a dream in the middle of the night. Like, for instance, I had a few dreams where I was doing stand-up comedy and I woke up from them, like I had a whole bit in my head. So I like would write the whole thing, and it ended up me doing a couple times stand-up comedy, and that was a
Wow.
crazy story. But anyways, I won't go in there. But I think that this is really important thing to, you know, one of the quotes that I've been contemplating about the letters for like almost a decade now is, it's my favorite quote from the letters up until now. It's, the purpose of existence is the mutual reciprocation of communication between the creator and all of creation. And that's like a very expanded way of saying, it's like one of those quotes that you could really, spend a whole lifetime
Yes.
thinking about. But it's about talking about that relationship that we had. And like you said, it's the most important relationship we had with that source within ourself, our true self. You mentioned the soul, however you want to say it, the greater self, the soul. That's our primary relationship. And through writing, I totally can relate to you with this. And you talk about direction. I think one of the unsung heroes of this similar mission which we were on, and to get people to connect with that intelligence, is Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. She talks about doing morning pages. I've actually expanded that in my practice. When I do them, I literally see them as having a direct communication with creator, and like just having this rapport. And I agree with you. I think it's essentially so important. And I didn't have the structure and framework. I'm excited to read your books and to implement some of these tools. And I think our audience is really going to look forward to it. So, anyways, that's just phase one. So let's hear about phase two,
Now,
unless you want to
being
talk
I
about it.
know, being I've come to the realization that, we only could do in the beginning, I take you up slow, or it
Mhm.
takes you up. Remember, I'm only taking 10% credit for this, for holding the pen. It's not me. I don't contain this. I
Yeah,
don't contain it. I
right.
could get what I could, but for word, it does it. I can't
Yeah,
recite this
yeah.
stuff.
That's
I mean,
beautiful.
you
So
see
many
what I
authors and artists talk about that process too. It comes from an inspired place, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so being that I continue, I take you up slow. Now I write now the next phase two, 82 deeper and longer thoughts. Now, these aren't just two lines long, they're a lot longer. You
Okay.
see, there's
Yeah.
maybe three on a page, two or three on a page.
Yeah.
And I bring these things longer. I start going deeper into the thought, not just stretching your wide like, wow, you got 365 thoughts. Not many do. And then now I go, that's fine. But after that, I start bringing you a little deeper.
Mhm.
And as far as I expand on the thoughts that are pertain to the 365. I don't know exactly if they are the same. I don't think
Okay.
so. But I just expand on the thought longer, not too much. I don't
Yeah.
want to overwhelm you
Yeah.
because your mind could be like, wow. So, but that happens in phase three.
Okay. Okay.
Phase three, let's see if I get that.
So
Let's see.
we're going on a trip with you through this book, eh?
Phase three, 30 thoughts, nothing held back. Nothing held back till that channel shuts off. Oh, yeah,
That's
no,
awesome.
till it shuts off. And look, full page. Till it
Okay.
shut off, I continued. And, full page, um, in your best interest. Sometimes they're longer. I mean, this is excellent. Change is change. Now, this is interesting. It says as far as there's change change is good, no matter if you perceive it as good or bad. Why? Because it's energy moving, it's
Hmm.
expanding, like say the government or this, or you can think of the worst thing possible, but you know what it is? It's growing. Something is growing. And you're free to express yourself now.
Hmm.
As far as, well, they're doing it, I'm going further. It's the binders are off. You're ready to, the weight is lifted, anything goes. That's
Yeah.
what I'm getting to. Anything goes.
Hmm.
Say, well, that's strange. Hey, I don't care about nothing now. I was once afraid to go in front of the camera.
Mm,
Stupid stuff I'm thinking of. I don't wanna, imprinted programs
mm,
in my head. I don't care. Nobody cares about me, as far as, hey, look at him. Look, I don't care. I really don't. And nobody else should care.
hmm.
How they look, how old they are, anything.
Yeah,
They should go in front of the camera, just do it. Don't worry about what would they say. There's
yeah,
no they.
yeah,
Forget they.
yeah.
They're doing nothing. Oh, look at you. So what? Yeah, look at me. But anyway, I go into phase 3 deeper.
Yeah.
Really
I
good.
just want to comment
Right.
here because I think, it sounds like from my perspective, you're talking about a liberation of our consciousness and not letting all those preconditioned beliefs limit us. And that's such a common pain for people is to be self-conscious and concerned about. I know I've carried it, and actually I've just really started putting myself out there, voicing about my experience, because in my early 20s, Christ appeared to me in the forest, and it was after inspired questioning. And I'm not religious by background, and nor am I now. I've always been a deep questioner, and about 10 years after that experience, which totally changed the trajectory of my life, that's when I was like guided to find the letters in a bookstore, and just all these things happened. And like you said, that all those things lined up. And I think it's so important that people hear this message, Rick. And I really like that you've given them a very simple, clear direction through writing. Because I feel like, like you said, so many, like we go to these seminars, workshops, and
Mhm.
we're looking for answers outside of us. And something that maybe worked for, these towering figures, that are flying around their private jets and worked for them, it's they established a certain business model or they did it a certain way. That doesn't mean that it's the right path for us. And the
True.
only way to find our right path is to do that inner work. And I really love how you frame it so simply and clearly within writing and why writing is important. You're bringing the intangible into the physical. You're able to open it up. And I love how I really see you as like one of your gifts, is bridging the intangible with the physical. It's exemplified in your covers. How you take these miraculous. I think life is a series of miracles. That's my basic assumption of life, and I could go into that for days. I'm sure you and I could both. But I really love that you've brought that, you've bridged those two, the intangible into the importance of actually
Yes.
bringing it into physical. And not only have you done that, you've had those direct experiences, but you've taken images of those things, and now you're expanding them so you can reach other people. So I just want to really say thank you for that service. It's, to me, all of us add to the wholeness of consciousness as we continue to grow ourselves and express our purpose in the world so that we can bless and benefit others. And you're doing that. So I just want to, give you a high five
Thank
there.
you. Wait till we get to phase 4.
All right, let's go.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, it still hurts today what I did. This stuff ain't easy.
Mm,
No, 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 no. When you want to compete, not compete, when you want to connect to the greater self on the highest level, I could still feel the pain.
mm,
But I had to do it. I had to do it for people. I had to connect so deep and so hard that I felt pain because it was the experience, the outer experience was just so deep and it hurt.
mm,
But out of the hurt, that's where I drew the gold. I drew that gold out for everybody because nobody would go there. They would
mm,
just take the pain, they would feel it, but nobody would use the experience and to help others, no matter how um, wanton or whatever you want to call it, off limits. I went there because I know people won't go there. And my book is personal. This is my soul in here. Now, the bonus section, the transformational thoughts, phase 4,
mm,
it's where I walk the talk. This stuff ain't easy. Don't say it's a walk in the park like these affirmation people, that book Project 369. Write your affirmations, the genie appears, gives you whatever you want, but
mm,
not what you need.
mm.
You see what I mean?
Hmm.
What you need and what you want are two different things.
Hmm.
All right. And oh, it's so hard. I went beyond, I went, I'll just two. I gave you some other things, but it still hurts. Still
Hmm.
hurts.
Yeah, please share.
Because
I'm all
that's
ears.
how deep I went for others. I did this for others
Hmm.
because I had to, because it was an opportunity.
Hmm.
All right. And don't let any opportunity go by where you can't get closer to the greater self,
Hmm.
to greater, your inner self. And I could tell you another one, health illness. When you got a health illness, nothing else matters outside of you.
Hmm.
You connect. You are, everything is secondary.
Hmm.
Because if you got an illness, it's the most important thing in your life. Not saying we all want illnesses, but I'm just saying anything in your life that's a big deal, use that.
Hmm.
Connect deeper with your greater self
Hmm.
because it's not a normal phase of life, a normal part of life every day. You're not going to get that opportunity this disguised as problems,
Yeah.
gifts disguised as opportunity,
Yeah. Yeah.
problems.
So
You
important.
take that and you work it,
Hmm.
no matter how much it hurts. You must do this. You must go deeper. And here it was. The part of you that you grew up with, whoever raised you, mother, father, whoever raised you, from when you were small, when they die, a part of you dies
Hmm.
because they're no longer there to talk about. A part of you dies, and there's this vacuum created because that part is dead, that open, it's no longer there, cut off. You can't talk anymore about, have a conversation. They're no longer there. And that is where you identify the you. You identify the you through when a person dies. When my father died, woo-wee, instantly I went into another, like it was a dream floating around. And when he died, the funny thing is, as we renovate, as soon as he died, a vacuum was created and we renovated the whole house. Every room, every floor, sanded, remodeled the bathroom and everything. A vacuum was created when he died. And and you see, the person who raised you only wanted the best for you. And if you could use their passing as a benefit in your life to
Hmm.
make you more, bring you closer to the true self, so be it. And that's what I did. I used that to identify the you. You all could read about it. That's all I'm going to say as far as there's much more to it.
Yeah. That's a
But
great
these are
teaser.
transformational thoughts.
Yeah. I think this is so valuable. Um, I think it's so valuable, this discussion, and you really articulate it really beautifully and make it, like you said, very personal. And make that those pains that we all go through in the awakening journey when we're really committed to that awakening, we have to face them, feel those pains. I mean, we live in a culture that has made it very readily available to numb ourselves in a variety of ways and to avoid those pains. But I appreciate that you talk about looking for the gold and really mining for that and coming to a new relationship of yourself. My writer brain often uses acronyms, and I just want to give this one to you because I think it's important. It's gold is good or it's an extension from Julia Cameron's like good orderly direction, and I think that the loving direction is really important because I think that's really what gives us the fuel, like, or the pull, the why of the perseverance to really go through those difficulties, because pain is truly a great teacher. And I don't want to make the whole conversation about that, but it reminds me, like, partly to me, the importance of the Christ letters is recognizing that there was a collective wound that happened in, essentially killing one of the most profound masters that ever walked our planet publicly. His family and friends were in that crowd, and I guess I'm going here. I actually have personal memory of being there, and I think that reincarnation is just part of life. That's my direct experience, and probably many people have had some different experiences. But I think why that's so important is, in the letters he talks about that remorse and pain are we all have to go in the awakening journey to realize who we really are. There's the necessity of the remorse and the pain because it does open us to that greater relationship and allows the love in that is our creator. And I think that were he physically among us today, because I think there was a great loss for many of us who had personal relationships for him in that time. Like, he would be overjoyed to see so many people like yourself, helping people connect in ways. And let's be honest here. Not everyone is going to resonate with us as particular teachers. Like, they might resonate more with, a Louise Hay, like you said, affirmations or what. That might be the stage of the journey that they're on. But when someone's really willing to go deep and really commit their life to awakening to to realizing their fullness of their wholeness for the faint, it requires a lot of courage. So I appreciate you talking about that, because it's like we're so used to being told, like, sold this grandiose idea, like, if you just do this thing, you pay me the 10K, you will get this. And that's just not the case. It requires a lot of willingness and fortitude and courage. So I hope that my perspective adds to what you're talking about, doesn't take away from it at all. I really feel like it is a very important conversation within the whole, self-help, think and grow rich community, because so many people think that they're going to get these outcomes that is going to give them the fulfillment of what they're looking, but they're trying to bypass, they're trying to spiritually bypass the necessity of going into the pains that they already are carrying, right? So anyways, I just want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're going to like the second one. Oh, you're really going to like this second one of transformation. Now, there was a company that I bought the domain, it just started. I bought the domain of their flagship product, right? And after they started, well, they didn't have it. I bought it. And I mean, it was available. I bought it. And I was an affiliate for them, right? So I was affiliate link hooked up to my domain name. That was the flagship product of their company. And boy, everybody thought I was the company for 18 months. Just hooked them up. I get 10%, I get 90%. How bad am I? They only gave me 10%. And I was making some good money. And then one day the manager or whatever gets on the phone and says, "Hey, we got to have that domain that you have." I'm there. I go, "Well, it is yours. I'll sell it to you, but it ain't gonna be cheap." I paid 2,000 for it, and because I knew, I mean, duh, and I made plenty, and for 18 months. So I said, "I'll sell it to you. It's yours. I'm not gonna." And he goes like, he offered me like 2,500 for it. I go, "No." Then this vice president gets on. She's smart as hell, old, like in her 80s, smart, sharp as a whip. And they both told me that this thing's worth a lot. They go, "You're holding up hundreds of thousands of dollars of business." I go, "I am?" I'm like, "Oh my God, thanks for telling me." And she immediately switched the conversation. That's what I was telling you. She's so old. Whew, her brain wasn't
Yeah.
old. So she offers me
Yeah.
5,000. And I'm just, "Oh, no, no, no." So the president gets
After
on, the
telling
owner
you
of the
there's
company.
hundreds of thousands.
So the president gets on, nasty guy. Ooh, he didn't like me at all. And he said, and after back and forth, he goes, "I tell you what, 10,000. And I'm there, "Nope, ain't gonna happen." I go, "I want 50. And he said, "Phew, you ain't getting no 50, not gonna happen." I go, well, that's what I want. I went out for a year, and he back and forth, and he offered me 10,000 4 times, and every time I said no. I didn't know if he was ever going to offer me 10,000 again, but I felt this energy, this surge of energy. Here, you want 10,000? Get away from me. I don't want it. I needed the money. I
Yeah.
wanted this little sports car. And I'm there like, God, why didn't I take that? This little sports car I wanted it, and it was 10,000. God, I thought about it, but I said, no, I can't look at myself in a mirror taking that money when I said, and I took that energy from saying no, and I put it in the book,
Mm.
put it in this book. And he did it 4 times. Every time I said no, the surge of energy came in strong. And
Mm.
I did some muscle testing on how much, and it came out 15,000. So after back and forth, a year, taking that energy, I had to talk with him. I go, listen, I'm a writer. And this is a personal self-help, I do this for my, my mission. And I go, I took the energy out of that 10,000. I go, every time you told me, offered me, I said no. I put that energy into the book. I'll go to my grave before I take 10,000. And so a little bit later, he offered me 15 and I took it. But it was the thing of and my wife saying, "Are you stupid? $10,000 and you don't want to take it?" I said, I can't take it. I mean, this is personal with me. And I was using the thing, it's like Jimmy crack corn, and I don't care. I don't care. Just don't care. 10,000, get away from me. It was a little inside myself, but I was just kept saying, I don't care. I don't care. So anyway, that was another one when I faced myself with the money thing.
Mm.
Everybody loves money. But what I took out of there and put in my book was energy where it isn't part of normal life.
Mm.
Just like my mother dying and the money thing. That's the deep stuff. This is
Yeah.
walking the talk.
Yeah.
I don't only write, I'm not just a channel, I walk the talk. And when we get to phase 5, this only then can you, phase 5, only then, if you got to go through this whole book because you can't touch this workbook, you got to build that foundation.
Mm.
The exercise in here will do you damage. We're playing with fire here, big time, personal, deep, the real deal. That's what we're playing for here.
Mm.
This is no game. This is no joke. You
Mm.
must go and build your foundation and constantly interject this information in your brain, because otherwise the outer is bombarding you. Hey, look at this new thing. Look at this, the outer stuff, pulling your focus
Mm.
away,
Mm. Mm.
you know? And there's a thing of the more thoughts you have, the less power there are. Thoughts are energy. And the more you stretch these thoughts out, more and more and more, the less energy, the less power they have. To have one thought of the greater you is all you need.
Mm.
That's where everything springs from.
Mm.
The outer springs from the inner is the result,
Yeah.
The outer is how you are inwardly, is what happens outwardly. See?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is another really important topic that we don't hear a lot of folks talk about. And just to reflect it back to you, maybe with a little bit different language, is that power of singular focus. Because we do live in such a place of distraction. So when we know really what we're here to do and the purpose we're here to serve, and however we keep that focus in our mind, it is a great work. And I think it's the first step really to fully awakening, is having that consistent center within yourself, and that real grasp of the importance of that inner relationship like you had. And I appreciate you bringing up the money conversation. And as I was listening to you talk about how you would take that energy of the no, like there's a resistance there, but you also knew what was right for you. You talk about, kinesiology, muscle testing, asking the intelligence of your body what is a right thing. Like, and I feel like this is also a very important conversation that people learn to trust that intuitive self. And develop, especially in this age we're in, discernment is so important. We have emergent technologies like artificial intelligence, that is a great example of like, it can create videos or write, it can write books. There's people out there writing books.
Sure.
But for those of us who are really listening, I don't know if you've had this experience. I will read something, whether it's a text or a book or something, or copy on someone's page, and I can tell if it was just auto-generated with AI and it's not coming from a soulful self. I think that AI is a powerful collaborator and great for like editing and helping us organize our thought. But if the actual creation of a thing is coming from it's missing something of essence. And that's again, I think what I really like about your book is that bridge between the physicality of actually writing. Like I can type a lot, but I always handwrite, and I actually write a very kind of interesting. Um, I can show you an example. I I I write like here. I wrote enlightenment, but you can see I wrote like there's a light language that kind of emerges from me too, and I
Yeah.
write these as it's an exercise I do. It says joy and laughter, but I write these cards, and I actually I'll go through an exercise where I infuse them into my consciousness after I've cleansed and let go of other
Good.
things that but it is the act of writing, and I wondered about like why it's so important to actually write. And I think you really articulated it
Let me
really
tell you
well.
why it's important to write.
Yeah.
Because the time where it takes to form the letter, the intelligence could come in and change the whole thing. If you type boom, if you hit the thing, boom, there it is. No, you
Mm,
got to form that letter.
mm,
And it's very relaxing too.
mm,
It's so relaxing, you don't have to, when you type, it's like, am I, no, but when you write, it's like, and then you could put little things of, oh no, that wasn't good. A little arrow, a line when you write a word with an arrow going in a different spot. And you see this,
Thank you for that.
yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good. But you know what AI is going to do to everybody? Mostly everybody. We must do now. We must do now. You can't beat the drum any louder now. Because what it's going to do in a little bit of time, it's going to overwhelm us. It's too smart. It's going to give us songs that we're going to just love. It's going to tell us stuff because it's smarter than us. AI is smarter, but it's not smarter than the greater self. It
Yeah.
can't touch it.
Yeah.
Never,
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
because it's creative source,
Hmm.
and it's where everything springs from. Nothing beats the greater self. And
Yeah.
if any of those self-help gurus aren't saying anything about greater self, inwardly,
Yeah.
infinite intelligence,
Yeah.
if it ain't pointing there, leave them. I don't care how good, how articulate they speak,
Yeah.
leave them. If everybody loves them, you say, get away from me.
Yeah.
This ain't going to do me any good.
Hmm.
You got to become your own source of information.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
connect with that greater part of you, and it comes through you all the time. You get get more room for it to come in.
Hmm.
Surrender your will for its will,
Yeah.
because your will is a grain of friggin' sand and its will is the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. So much of what you say is part of my path as well, Rick. I like to me, I think part of my challenge has been really sharing about because the word Christ just turns people's brain off, but it talks about that the Messiah. But if you see the Messiah outside of yourself and not within, like you're talking about, like only that intelligence, that creative power, that pure, that greater self, however we describe it, that's the only thing that can really liberate us and allow us to fully express our unique authenticity. And I think the challenge, you talk about the pain. the other side of the way of looking at it is it's a vulnerability, and I've had moments where that I felt that infusion, and like you talking about that crying and that sadness that other people are not seeing this. I feel like that's something that I've carried for most of my life as a little boy, because I remember looking around, spending time in nature, watching the water striders on the ponds, and just feeling like just
Yeah.
enamored by the beauty and the miracle of life,
Hmm.
and then looking at the grown-ups and listening to what they were talking about and being like, I feel so alone because these people are not seeing this beauty. And I don't know what I really did. I think this is why writing is actually important for me. And I've been working to finish a series of books to talk about these moments of awakening. The first one being, we had a natural home birth where I caught my daughter. And that was such a most physical, tangible experience of visceral miracles in my life. And I've seen some things like I talked about in my early 20s, but to me, just capturing that essence of like newness of life, and that it came from a seed and an egg. I talked about it before, like we're trillions of cells of walking around. We've normalized miracles. And like we can intellectualize these things all day long, but until you actually have the tangible physical reality of forming that word and really grasping it, it doesn't have the same essence. And
Mm.
after that experience, I really realized that we are all like, we truly are these miracles. And if I can simply be a reflection of that to others, and help one other person really feel that and really know and connect. So I really appreciate your work, Richard. I'm looking forward to reading your book. So and I know that people who are listening to this are also. So the new release is coming out on soon.
Very
Um,
soon.
very soon. And so let us know before we go any further, how can people connect with you on Amazon? And you said, I think that's where they can.
Well, you could go to my website, greaterselfbooks.com, greaterselfbooks.com.
Okay. And we're going to put all of those links and everything in our
Hmm.
description for you as well. I I sometimes I've been asking it more recently because I feel like I've been really connecting with people who have this deeper knowledge. And you've written a book about this, and like you said earlier, like you're only going to write two, and this is your
So,
mission to deliver this. So if you could summarize your books and that mission, and take a megaphone and broadcast it to the whole world, and have this opportunity for everyone to really hear you all at once, what would you say? What would you say to
oh,
everyone?
that's easy. The
Let's hear it.
last page of my book, I'll bring it. I have a different symbol on there, but this is the unedited version,
Okay.
but it's the same thing. Look,
Okay.
you
School of
get a
life.
diploma,
Oh.
and I
Upon
sign it, the greater self signs it, and
That's
that's what it
beautiful.
is. It's about transformation,
Hmm.
becoming the best version of yourself.
Hmm.
You know? I mean, as far as who your true self, who you were meant to be, how you're supposed to live, um, how you be happy every day. I'm a living book. Everybody is a living book if they pay attention. I know people are busy in life. I know that. And that's what I'm saying. Live, live this connection with the greater self all day long. Wherever you are, always have the pad with you. Always pay attention inwardly. Your goal is transformation, but remember, people go to the gym, you see people in really good shape and they look up to them, no pain, no gain. Yeah, let's see how strong you are when you face yourself.
Hmm.
When you face yourself, when you face yourself in every experience. Let's see how tough you are. There was this one guy who played for some pro football. He was weak. You got to get out of the way. You got to make room in your
Hmm.
life. That's not easy. You got to break programs. That's not easy. But do it for the sake of breaking them programs because
Hmm.
you know what's going to be the result. Because there is an intelligence, and I just showed it to you on my covers of my books.
Hmm.
There's an intelligence that exists, and its nature is to expand into a willing participant. You
Hmm.
must be willing to do whatever it takes.
Hmm.
And that's a big word. You got
Yeah.
to push
Yeah.
all in on every situation and and get get the guidance, what that inspiration, that experience was all about. It's
Hmm.
not what meets the eye, it's what's behind the
Hmm.
scene.
Hmm. Hmm.
The whys, you get your whys answered.
Hmm.
And that's what you want. Oh, why did that happen? Why? When you write, you get all your questions answered.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And growth never ends. It keeps you young,
Yeah.
keeps your brain young, keeps life young.
Yeah.
You're happy. Are rich people happy? They're worried. Oh, my money, my money. Oh,
Hmm.
what person's doing to me? Are they real or are they not?
Hmm.
It don't matter. The thing is, I know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm not materialistic. I
Hmm.
really don't care
Hmm.
because that's not, I have to be able to walk away from money. $1 billion, get away from me. You're nuts, billionaire doing. I said, don't bother me. I have something where nobody has.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, everybody could have. I discovered inside me
Hmm.
personally, the source.
Yeah.
I have the source and I tap. It's not intrusive. So don't think you're going to just be, you can do whatever you want.
Hmm.
But I mean, as far as eventually you'll give up and say, that wasn't right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's a
you
good
see, you
point.
got to pay that. You always got to, and you pay. Now, when you do some, this is for people who have bad things done to them. When a person does something bad to you, feel sorry for them because they set a precedence in their life of
Hmm.
acceptable behavior.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's terrible. And then another time you're going to do the same thing. Oh my God, your life is going to be garbage. Hell
Hmm.
no. You got over on me one time. Good, I learned from it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
But you're going to keep doing the same thing because, of course, it's acceptable
Yeah.
behavior. It's
Yeah.
like this. When you do something to somebody, it's like a return policy. You only have a little time to make it right. Other
Mm.
than that, you own it. Or
Mm.
it owns you. It
Yeah.
owns you.
Mm.
You see, you got that return policy. Hey man, I did this, but I know it wasn't that good. I'm gonna make it right. I'm gonna make it right.
Yeah.
We're not all perfect, like everybody knows. We do things. We always got this, you know, devil on our shoulder. But you see, the
Well,
thing is,
I think,
it doesn't go away. It just becomes less important. You little thing
yeah.
that nothing.
Yeah.
See, it becomes less
Yeah.
important. It doesn't. Programs don't go away. They just become less important. You see, not important. I really don't
Hmm. Hmm.
think.
Yeah. I think this is, really another very important conversation. You're really good at pulling those out of the hat, Rick, because I totally agree with you in that when we let, as I would say, the ego or the false self lead us and do all these things, the self that believes that we're separate, the self that thinks, I can just do this thing and not have any consequences.
Right.
I feel like, people would talk about this as a conversation about karma. And I think from my lens, karma is not about punishment or judgment. It's about that there are laws of existence, that the source that we're from, it's its way of keeping existence going. And when we do get those negative results that come from acting out of alignment with those laws, it is another form of love that is giving us the mirror, saying, "Hey, you don't like being treated this way, right? So maybe stop treating people that way." So eventually, we all have to face these pains, and like you said, I think the gold that we find in those pains is reopening them through writing, connecting with that source, and really seeing the, like you said, the why is revealed through all of this writing process. Very, very, very valuable. And I love how you've given just a simple tool, um, and obviously your works, they help guide that process, but just by the act of writing alone, how we can get into deeper communication with this. And this might be a little bit of a challenge to you because I know that you talk about the importance of finding your people. And I can't obviously talk for anyone of but myself, but I can relate to you in the feeling of the loneliness of feeling like I've tapped into a greater awareness of my source. I've tangibly felt it in my body. It's undeniable to me. And then trying to relate to others can feel very, very isolating. I, and
Sure.
for yeah, and so I relate to you, but I would also encourage you, and I want to circle back to this word courage because I think it's very important. We've talked a lot about it and around it today, but I encourage you. I think there are many souls awakening and realizing the truth of themselves within themselves, and I think they're out there, and we want to do our part to help you connect with those individuals, because I feel like the new era, and the importance you talk about awakening in this time, like now, and
Mm.
what's coming in an accelerated way
Mm.
that's going to challenge a lot of us because we are going through a transformation. Like to me, the information age is past. We are now in the transformation age, and I actually really do wholeheartedly agree with you. It really is important that we do that inner work now because I feel like our spiritual maturity as a species needs to rise to meet these emergent technologies
Correct.
so that we don't use them to destroy our one another and our planet because it's just going to make it easier. Profit over people is going to be easier when you have an AI engine that can do all this stuff all the time. But if you haven't done that inner work, the only reason you would do that is if you haven't connected. Um, but that courage word, I hear it in you, the passion that you have. Um, Courage, that root word is in French is Carl, is heart. And an Irish medicine woman told me this once. It's the same root word in Irish. Courage literally translates to the rage of the heart. And it speaks to the passion that we have. And you talk about that fire that we have to go through. And I see that alive in you. So I appreciate meeting you in this conversation as a whole. I think we probably need to have a follow-up conversation as well. And yeah, to continue. But I'm not saying that to end the conversation now. Is there anything else you would like to talk about
Yes.
today?
Well, I have like 10 exercises in the workbook.
Okay.
And one I'd like to talk about, which came to me, is the planning method.
Hmm.
What could that be? Now, all this stuff comes to me. Now, you get a pad, get an empty pad, you write number it 1 to 100. No, just the
Okay.
first page.
Okay.
Now, you write everybody's name who you come in contact with, who you talk to,
Okay.
whoever, and then each one of the numbers you assign a page, you
Hmm.
know, 100, each side. Now, you see, you're the CEO of You Incorporated. You got to pay attention to your life. You got
Hmm.
to pay attention to the people who are in your life because they are, you're the CEO of You Incorporated.
Hmm.
And you write something about each one of them. Oh, they're good at this. They did this. They did. But every time you go out and interact with somebody, or you could add to them your list. When you do, you pay attention. You do your writing. Get involved in your company. And as far as you see, when you pay attention to your life, you see more than you would if you don't, because
Hmm.
everything is in front of your face, but you don't see it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Everything is in front of you. I mean, I prove it to myself all the time. I'm there. I didn't know this. I didn't see it. But when your awareness increases through writing, like for instance, when I don't know, I was doing some molding work and I did the molding in my place, and I'd go into somebody else's house. I go, let me look at their molding. See what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have paid attention to
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
until I focused on the molding in my place. Then
Hmm.
I now I'm starting to look at all molding.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean?
Yeah, I totally do.
When your
Yeah.
awareness increases, you see the things that are right and people are right in front of you.
Yeah.
Maybe you never asked, or things that you have. Hey, I could use this for this instead of that. Hey, I didn't know that. My awareness increased. You see what I mean? Everything is in front of you. All your solutions to all your problems are in front of you. Stuff to give you. I just thought of a business the other day. It was right in front of me. I always had it, but never used it. I
Yeah.
had this thing, a domain name for years, but I never used it at all. It didn't occur to me. till my awareness increased.
Hmm.
And you do that through writing. Pay attention to your life. Get involved in it. Get
Yeah.
involved. Don't just live it. Get involved in it. It's you're in your school doesn't end at college or high school, whatever. I mean, it's every day. And every day you could learn. That's why I keep saying you make yourself smart.
Yeah, so I really find that an interesting exercise in perspective. I love that, we are literally the CEOs of our own life, and that intentionality towards mastering that, I think, is really important. What an
Yeah.
interesting exercise. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's a practical thing that our viewers can just take away and start doing. Like pay attention to your relationships and write about it. And
All the people in your life.
yeah, and I think that'll really expand people's appreciation of the relationships. And, we had a guest on yesterday who was talking about Martha Birch, and she was talking about how she had this really profound moment with her mom, where her mom was very, very critical for her and favored her two sons more than her daughter. And she kind of had this impression that her mom was just being very critical and judgmental about her parenting and her life and putting her down to like motivate her. And then she found this exercise where uh, she would sit and you would take 5 minutes and you would just write kind things about the other, and you both do it at the same time and then present this list. And she talked about, her mother never said anything good to her about herself ever, but then after doing that exercise, she saw her mom really thinking and put a lot of thought. But that she said she said it was one of the best days of her life, if not the best day of her life, because the note she got back from her mom was so much a reflection of her deeper, soulful, true perception of her, and I feel like when we take those moments through the writing process, we get to reflect deeper, like you said, open up those thoughts and really see. Do you think that people get to that point? You talk about connecting that intelligence. Do you think it becomes so simple, Rick, that eventually all you're seeing is that manifestation of that intelligence around you?
You got to work on it. That takes effort. That takes a long time. And if you don't start now, it takes even longer. And being you talked about this, I have another method, cleaning up your past. Now,
Okay.
watch this one. Cleaning up your past. Now, we all had some trauma in our life. Somebody done us wrong if you live long enough, and it affected you. It really hurt. You were the victim.
Mhm.
Here's the exercise. Now, you have to write about an experience you had that hurt, objectively non-judgmental. Now but write about it like you're writing about somebody else, because you were the victim when you had that experience with them, but you're not looking at it now. That was whenever it was, but I'm just looking at it and I'm no longer the victim having the same experience. You see what I mean? You didn't feel the pain or that. You're just writing about like it's about somebody else, but you're reliving it, but you're not the victim.
Mhm.
You're not the victim. You ain't feeling the pain. It
Mhm.
happened whenever it did. And even if they're dead, don't matter. Energy never dies.
Mhm.
Then relive the experience objectively, non-judgmental. You're looking at you from a greater viewpoint.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're just saying, "Oh yeah, you did that. Okay," yeah. But you're not the victim. You're not feeling the pain. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
And then I
Yep.
have
Yep.
part
So
two of that, and it releases the pressure of
yes.
when you think about the same thing, you would no longer
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
the same way.
Mhm. So it sounds like on two levels, and I'm interested to hear a little bit more about part two. It's like you're getting it out of your system. You're just writing it down objectively. These are the facts. It also sounds like it would be a good way to, like, as an investigator, looking at those synchronistic clues. Maybe it will remind you of a time in the past where you actually caused this situation from a way that you treated
Could do
someone
that.
else, or you know.
Or relive it, but you're no longer you're looking at it through your greater
Yes.
viewpoint. You're
Yeah.
separating yourself. You're no longer the person that felt it. You're the
Yeah.
person that is just looking at it. So when you think of that same thought, you no longer have the same feeling, and that
Hmm.
dissipates the energy. And then you say, you made me what I am today, and I love myself. Thank you. So now you're grateful for that
Yeah.
experience. But
Yeah.
I don't only stop there.
Yeah.
At the phase 2, I made lights off technique.
Okay.
Wait
Let's hear
till
it.
it gets dark. Energy never dies. So you just see shadows, and you call up that energy. Now, don't be afraid. We're going in deep. We're going into the real being of a person. We're going to exercise this stuff out. You call that energy back and talk objectively, non-judgmental. You did that, but it's okay. But I mean, you see, you're exercising, you're objectively non-judgmental, the same experience you had. You exercise that on because you know what it really is? The mind got to be convinced. You convince
Mhm.
the mind because that experience is like hardwired into you. But this way, as far as now you are, letting the air out of it,
Mhm.
it no
Mhm.
longer has the same effect. You did that, but that's okay. And then you just look at it. You just look at it. You're voicing, and when you're just doing it with the voice, you may find some interesting aspects of
Mhm.
the situation. But you're calm. You're not mad objectively non-judgmental, just like you did on the writing, you do it with a voice when
Mhm.
it's dark room,
Okay. Why
two
why
levels,
why do you find the darkness is important to do it in?
because it doesn't when you're dark you can't see. You
Okay.
can't see if a person so you're next to you
Okay.
and it's dark, you don't know if they're there or not.
Interesting.
But that energy never dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what I
Yeah.
mean? You
That's
don't
an
know if they're
interesting
there
way
or
of,
not.
yeah, it's an interesting way of clearing things up, making amends and doing forgiveness
Yes,
work by calling, like evoking that energy.
energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you sway a little bit. I say you play a little bit of something on a frequency on YouTube just to keep the energy moving. And then as far keep the vibrations, keep it moving.
Yeah.
And just talk it out. Talk it out. But this time
Yeah.
remember, you're not having the pain, you're not the victim.
Right.
Get rid
Yeah.
of that, and then it frees you.
Yeah, we had another guest on too, Tina Chachic, who was talking about ending the cycle that she, from her lens, it's we all have this victim, um, uh, villain, and savior complex that plays out, and we can actually rise above it. I appreciate this technique as well, Rick, because I feel like, you know, it is on the awakening journey. I've noticed a point where I really recognize that my perception of others,
Mm.
whether it's someone I knew personally or someone on a stage, or so, I think we have this like it's our impression of them that lives within us. We don't really know the fullness of the
No,
being at all. We don't know where they're at in their journey. We also don't know all the context of the things that made them into the expression that they are, and so when we recognize that these are parts of ourselves, these are our own reflections of them, and isn't necessarily the wholeness of their individual greater self, like you say, that lives within us, but we're not always realizing that it's there. It's a matter of taking full responsibility, like you said, being a CEO of your life and being fully responsible for all of your relationships and the part you're playing in them. So I think that's really another very pragmatic thing that we can do. So thank you for that exercise. I mean, you've given us so many gold nuggets here today.
it goes on and on. It never
I'm sure it
stops. That's
does.
the whole thing. It goes on and on. I write every day. I wrote
Let's
yesterday.
not start singing that song, Rick.
What's that? What's that?
I said, let's not start singing that song. That it goes on and on. If you don't know that song, I'm not going to start
No,
singing
no, no, no. It goes on. But it's enjoyable. You
Yeah,
connect every day, and it makes you happy. There
yeah,
ain't many things that are going to make you happy. Only
mhm,
certain things. After a while, a car is just a thing on four wheel. A Lamborghini or car, yeah, it's there. A mansion is, yeah, it's there too. Everything is like, yeah, and.
yeah,
You see, the thing is this when you connect with the greater self, it continuously grows. And
hmm
that's where you bring in the happiness. You
yeah,
got to walk away from all that garbage. You wouldn't exchange that for
Yeah.
for nothing. Once you connect, once you got become the source of your own information, whew,
Yeah. Well, and and maybe another perspective to add there too is that's how you fill the mansion with the joy. That's how you fill the Lamborghini with the joy. Because if you have those things, you don't necessarily have to get rid of them. But so many people, I think those things, that's their goal in life because they're trying to fill that void. And you're talking about here's a
right,
direct way that you can work on this every day
right.
through the writing process by expanding your intelligence to connect with the source of you, who you are, which is your greater self. It's your true self. So I think that's a really important thing because so many people are chasing goals. And he also talks about this in the letters that people in the self-help and Think and Grow Rich, they're all going in the wrong direction because they're you can actually strengthen the ego drive. Okay, so I'm so great that I got my own private jet, but that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily like everyone, maybe if everyone had the goal of having a private jet, we just have a very lonely, selfish world of all these people polluting the air in their
Mhm.
private jets. That isn't necessarily what's going to make you happy. Maybe some people, a private jet is exactly what they need to do to fulfill their soulful purpose. And who are we to judge that? It's not a judgment, but if that's what you're preaching is, hey, get your jet because that'll make you happy. We know that that's not true. Anyone on the self-realization path, because it's just not the truth for everybody, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say a quote that not many people could understand. You heard it before. It's like, oh, uh, don't chase money, let it chase you.
Hmm.
Nobody knows what that is. I would say, tell you, it's like make yourself so connected inwardly that so can you show how good you are, show how connected you are. Everyone will chase you.
Hmm.
You'll be recognized inwardly. Let me get it right. Inwardly as a channel, outwardly as a leader.
Hmm.
You see the thing is just make yourself so good. It'll chase. You don't have to chase money. Work. Just make yourself better. Break your programs.
Yeah.
Defy logic. There's
Hmm.
another one. You got to
Yeah.
defy logic because sometimes you got to take one step back to take two steps forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not all. You got to go back and feel something first before you could go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even further because as far as even the hits, the tough times in life make you go further.
Yeah.
Some people they don't. You could either use them as a stepping stone or a stumbling block.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
hits. I
Yeah.
mean, either you could use it to grow or just to make you not happy or just closed up. Just lead a miserable life,
Yeah.
or make you to build on other experiences,
Right.
stepping stones.
Well, we're meaning making machines, right? I mean, Viktor Frankl talked about this in Man's Search for Meaning, and and I think that that writing process that you reiterate so many times beautifully is so important to that we, when you become aware that you are giving meaning to things and you take responsibility, as you say, being the CEO of your own life, then you can give things new meanings, like the story, the process you talked about, the story, like you can give it a whole new meaning if you just look at it objectively and take out the victim emotional patterns and so that's really wonderful. Listen, Rick, you've talked about wanting to connect with your people. And I want to share with you like a direct experience that I've been having.
Sure.
It's about like 3 weeks now, because I never really was if you found me, one of my favorite activities, actually, it sounds a little crazy, because I am very creative, but it's an infinite game I started playing with myself. And I was challenged by that intelligence last time I was playing it, but I've done this for years. So when my parents finally moved, found a place where we were going to homestead and build a home from the land. Um, I went from living in a small town, we moved across country, and then eventually went to another province and found the land where we were to build. And my dad is a cabinet maker by trade, but very much a um, like a multi-talented artisan and construction a builder, and he's always building stuff, in different ways. And as I was logging with him, helping him in the best ways I could when I was like 13 years old and growing up with that. So if you saw me in my downtime, to my way of connecting is I call it picking up sticks. I'll literally go in the forest because it was logged maybe 150 or so years ago, and I will go and clean where the pockets the old trees fell. I will take all the broken sticks, the sticks that have fallen or trees that have fallen down, and I clean up the land. And that's actually my spirit name is Undakin. Aki means land in Anishinaabe. And before I ever received that land, I was always taking care or keeping the land. That's what that name means, keeper of the land. And it's an infinite game, right? Because I go back years later of places that I've cleaned up and more sticks have fallen. And it's a way that I'll connect with Creator and just listen, and I like making things beautiful. And the reason I'm telling you this is, I've just never been an online person, but about 3 weeks ago, there's been a number of synchronicities that led me to finding a brand new platform called School, Skool. And I really appreciate School because it's an ecosystem that there's no ads. It's all about authentic connections, and there's so many vibrant communities, but people are solely focused on their interests. So you can be in multiple communities. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, some of them have, paid like classrooms. You can sell courses. You can have tiered memberships now, is just coming out in a few days, actually. I think like 6 or 7 days now. So they've created an environment where people are attracting one another based on their interests. So like we focus on, conscious educators and parents as well as entrepreneurs, and we like building bridges between those two. And so I started our Light Heart Vision community on there. And what's really cool is School itself has an affiliate system brought into it. So if you refer other people, you can make commission on other people starting their own communities for your whole life. And why I'm sharing this with you is I really feel like you have such a strong message, and there's going to be people who really resonate with it and who love write. I mean, there's one group on there that's all about writing books, and that I met the leader of that community. But I don't know of anyone doing this kind of thing. And I think, if you are interested, because it's the first time I've ever been online where I actually feel uplifted after being on a social media, because I'm not being bombarded by ad walls and stuff. And I really feel like I've been meeting such amazing individuals. Some people who have come on the podcast have joined our free community. So I'm going to extend an invitation to you to join if you want to see what it's like. But
Okay.
honestly, yeah, it's really cool. And it's a way that I think you might be able to expand your mission and meet people who will also help you amplify your
I
mission as
need
well.
that. I need that.
I
I'm
know
willing to
you
do so much. I'm willing to
do.
do so much as one
Exactly.
person.
We need community. And that's why I guess, not so much a challenge, but I encourage you to see that there are people who are waiting for you, who are looking for these
Ooh.
teachings.
I was going to offer a weekly Zoom meeting, just to help people because I get information all the time, and it's stuff that people are too busy to focus on.
Yep.
But it's like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. See, because I write from, core. I
Yep.
write from my core to
Yep.
core of others. And I that is my mission.
Yep.
It's beyond anything, is to help people advance but you need that desire. You
Yep.
got to be willing to do whatever it takes,
Yep.
and then you'll find it. And then you'll be happy about it. I mean, like we were talking about, um, it's okay to have nice things. Oh yeah, yeah, but you can't be attached to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
You
it
know
can
what I
change,
mean?
right? It's all transient, even our,
Your
our bodies.
Lamborghini, your
Yep.
mansion. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Yep.
But it's not who you are. I
Right.
mean, I know how when you know
Yeah.
how connected you are, it
Yep.
chases you, like we were
Yep.
saying. Keep building, keep breaking programs, keep learning.
Yep.
And the more you could give to people, the
Hmm.
more, like I say, the more people you could help, the more money you make. Bottom line. Just
Yeah.
bottom line.
Yeah.
I mean, make something. I mean, I got some causes that I want to help, or some people right some wrongs that's I go, I got to help this. And
Yep.
that you need money, the bottom
Yep.
line.
For sure.
But
Yep.
I mean, but when you get connected and you have something
Hmm.
that people could use and benefit from,
Yep.
there's nothing better. Mental health is the biggest thing there is.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's what I'm good at. I love it. I
I,
love
I
this
I I
so
see
much.
that fire in you, and to, like that relationship with the intelligence, when you realize that everything comes from it anyways,
Yep.
so it can come to you in even greater forms if you don't have that level of attachment. I mean, I think that's where you mentioned the Buddha sculpture here, I guess, and Buddha, I think, taught a certain level of enlightenment where you can transcend suffering by seeing the transient nature of everything, starting with the permutations of your body and how it's like coming in and out of existence. And you can transcend the suffering. I think Yeshua, or known as Jesus, showed us an even more powerful step towards true spiritual enlightenment, where we are literally masters of the elements and we can manifest and
Sure.
heal and all of these things. So our potential, I think, is largely unknown to us. Like he said,
Yes, it
you
is.
too will can do these things and greater. Why would he say that if he was the only one in existence that could ever do such a thing, right?
Let's get
Um,
humble.
yeah, yeah. And in terms of the Zoom call, I think it's really excellent that you want to serve in that way, Rick. And I just want to let you know what's cool about school is they have like you can do online calls within your own school. So you can do webinars now, and you can have just live calls. And people,
Okay.
it's announced on the calendar, so people want to join you. They just come in, and so it's all built in. You don't need separate platforms as well. And what's cool, I really like this, is in your community, there's a built-in map. So you can see, and a lot of people find their audience. You can have like you can draw people in from other outlets like YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and they can find your community that way. But a lot of people
All right.
find communities organically within school, and so there's a whole international community. And if you open up if you ever felt inclined to start your own community, you would open up a map that's included in every community page, and you can see where all the members in your community are. So like we have some people in like Vietnam, we have some people in
Oh,
Europe,
wow.
and you see a map, and it gives you the sense of the interconnection in our world. It's a really cool thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
You were mentioning something about you see, this spirit, this inner self, it works in every experience and in every scenario, like business. A lot of people are in business, and you mentioned the word attachment and
Mhm.
or detachment. You know, you know why you should be when you where the power is in detachment,
Mhm.
because it doesn't matter if it happens or not.
Mhm.
Match, and you see the energy you have. Oh, I want this to happen.
Mhm.
No, no, I really don't care. I'll accept whichever way it happens. That's where the power is. That's when you got the real power. When you could be detached. Woo! I mean, that's where the power is. You're
Yeah.
going into a meeting, and
Yeah.
as far as it's a make a deal, whatever, I don't care if it happens or not. Holy smoke, you're at your best. Then they could come through. Then
Mhm.
the intelligence could come through when you don't care if it happens one way or another. Get with it, business people. That's how to do it. The people could sense if you're pushy or whatever like that. I don't
Yeah.
care if it happens or not. I'm going to state my case.
Yeah.
And when you're detached, the intelligence comes through. That's
Mhm.
what you need. It's where the power is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's recognizing that's where the power comes from. Like it's not about pushing and self-will at all. Because I mean, I think in my experience, sometimes the things that I very much want to happen that don't usually opens a door to a greater experience that I couldn't have never even imagined for myself, right? And that's when you talk about that intelligence is so beyond our personal intelligence.
It
I
is.
feel like it literally knows what will make us all happy. And
It
that's
does.
the key word, all. So when we're in harmony with it, like you said, I just want to kind of circle back to that initial story that you talked about in Thailand. I think it's so beautiful. Like everyone's in community, we're all having a great time, celebrating just being alive, and
Yep.
everyone's of the same mind, and they're not
Yes.
taking themselves too seriously. I feel like we can create that on a world scale and even beyond. I believe our society is meant to be eventually interstellar and connecting with all of the cosmos in a return to the celebration that life was always intended to be.
You don't need a lot of people for this. You need a few could light up everybody. All you
Yeah.
need is two, really.
Yeah.
You need two, and then two goes four, goes eight,
Yeah.
goes boom, 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 boom.
We're doing it.
I mean, I love this stuff.
We're being it.
I would be so happy if I get a group together. You see, I couldn't start until I had my book to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it wasn't perfect, so I couldn't. People say, "How many books did you sell?" I go, "I didn't want to sell any."
Mm.
I mean, because it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
And as perfect as I could make it now.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
remember, I edited this like at least 5 times. The
Yep.
last time was 20 hours. And
Yep.
remember, only the author could edit it.
Mm.
Nobody else could do it. You can't pay anybody to do this because this is your thought. It
Hmm.
came through you, your filters, from
Hmm.
your experiences. See what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Only you could do it. But I'm ready. You see, when you're connected, it gives to you. It just constantly gives to you. It gives you ideas. If you want to go for for righting some wrongs and make money, it happens.
Mm.
I mean, it automatically happens. You become good at any endeavor because of your increased awareness.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do, you become the best at it.
Yeah. Mm.
I got it comes to me, I got to be the example,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and I have
So important.
let me turn my chair one time. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It comes through me. It comes right through me and it tells me what to do. It has my stuff on 60 pieces of merchandise. I
Yeah.
have this on there. I have it on shirts.
That's awesome.
It tells me what
Okay.
to do,
Okay. Well, there
you
you go.
know?
It sounds like you're primed and ready to go. I really do feel like you will find it's been to me, school is the place that the internet we all wanted the internet to be in originally.
Okay.
Because in the past I've posted on other platforms, I won't name them, really heartfelt stuff about becoming a father, about some of the,
All right.
experiences that I've had, insights. And, I mean, it's not like I'm checking every hour, but I'll go back and see a post, maybe days down the road, and I'll notice maybe there's like 3 or 4 likes and no comments, and I'm like, where's the connection here? And
That's right.
that's what I found on school is people who authentically want to connect. However we show up, we're encouraged to show up in our authenticity, and people really respond to that. And you're such an authentic guy. You're like you said, your soul's in your book. You're doing everything from that deep personal place that connects us all.
Mhm.
Rick, I really I encourage you to check it out.
I
And
will. I
yeah,
could see how I could work with it already.
I think you really can, and I'm happy to be a guide for you there too, and help you to show you the best practices to level up your community, so that people come in and it has that, because there's a fair amount to learn from it, but it's so laid out in such a supportive way. So
I always need
uh,
help. I always need
we
help with
all
that.
yeah
I'm good
we
at
need.
2 things, talking and writing. Other
There you
than that,
go.
I gotta pay somebody to help me.
Yeah,
It's so
well,
frustrating.
what I love about school is generosity is really built in. So there's a lot of people who want to help and don't ask anything for return. Like it's part of the culture there. So because the thing is, we can all actually create affiliate networks for our communities. You have links that you share, so we can all uplift one another and grow
Sure,
together, including financially. It's to me, it's
sure.
awesome. I can't say enough good things about it.
Really, you
So
like it that much,
I
huh?
really do.
I'll
I've
definitely
been
go and looking.
yeah, I really do. It's been like the most. I feel like it was my first real experience of the internet. And I'm like I said,
Wow.
I'm not a tech person.
Hmm.
And it's the first time, and it really has allowed me to like bring my whole self, because I've like it's been a long time coming, talking about my experiences with Christ, Christ consciousness, the letters, and sharing some of my deep personal spiritual transformations. Like I've done that in person with people in circles, and I feel like that I'm such a connector. Like I need personal, but being on school, I feel like I've really connected with people through an online forum, and that's allowing me to connect with people that I would have never met who are
Really?
international. Yeah, I really,
I
really,
really want to do that. I mean, because when I went to Dubai. I mean, I went to a party, and this is from European people, whatever. And man, I started talking, and they were all ears. They really wanted to know, not like over here in the U.S. I mean, I talk. A lot of people like me here, but not like over there. They respect that. The
yeah,
Sigmund Freuds,
yeah,
Carl Jung, who's one of my people I like.
yeah,
Not saying they have it, because they don't do the writing. They got the talk. They got it down good. Carl
You're all
Jung, I
about that
like him a
writing, Rick.
lot.
You're all
That's
about that
all there
writing.
is.
Yeah.
You can't expand
Yeah.
inside your head no matter
Yeah.
how much you think.
Yeah.
You only could do it on paper.
Yeah.
Live your life in your writing.
Yeah.
I mean, duh. That's where you connect with the greater part of you. You
Yeah.
see what I mean? You
I
can't beat
appreciate your
writing.
passion. Yeah.
I,
I appreciate your
I
passion. You
7 years.
definitely have you've really, inspired me to focus more and make that really an active part of my day. I mean, I have tomes and tomes of sketchbooks, and I draw. Like, I think drawing too is another important thing for me because it taps into the visual part of my brain, which helps me connect ideas and things. But I'm gonna make a point to really make writing that much more a full part of my life. Listen, Rick, we need to have a follow-up conversation with you. So
Well,
in a month or two, maybe we can have you back on. And if you've enjoyed your school experience, we can talk about that. And I'd love to hear about how your re-release of your book goes. So let's schedule that, my friend. And yeah,
yes, yes. And yeah, okay, we'll communicate on the messenger. On the
okay,
messenger.
that sounds good.
And
I think I'm being hailed. So this is one of our longest
I
conversations
know
so
we're going
far.
on for 3 hours.
That's great.
Okay.
And there you can hear my daughter in the background, who's, if you heard the introduction there, the Julia did the video, that's
Yeah,
actually her giggling in,
I did.
we were on a swing in Arizona to visiting some very wonderful friends that we met actually
Mhm.
through the Christ letters, and that was her giggling from that video. So, um, with that, Rick, is there
Yeah.
anything you want to leave our audience with? We're going
Oh,
to
I
post
have
all your contact information in the back. It can
come
go
as
on and
far
on.
as you know what I always say? I always say, learn what I could give you, and then go.
Mhm.
Learn how I think, learn how I receive, and then go and you don't need me anymore after I connect you, show how to connect you with the intelligence. You don't need me
She does.
anymore. But I mean,
Yeah,
just learn from me and any direction,
that's wonderful. You know what? It's funny, these little ones like Luciana, she doesn't need to write right now. Well, she does actually, she started writing and coloring, but she's so connected that she wants to color now. That's what she's saying, color.
That's when to bring them up for homeschooling. This is how to bring them up. Start at younger the
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Start even with part where they can't talk. Talk to them like they're an adult.
I do. Yeah, I talk to her. I use my whole vocabulary with her. I have deep conversations with her, even though but she is so keen on learning. We're actually what we're so the role of Light Heart Vision is building conscious bridges between conscious communities, educators, authors like yourself, artists, parents. And homeschool, it's funny. Let's leave on this note and put a pin on it for next time we talk. But
All right.
the acronym that came to me for home is heaven. And I've expanded it. I say heaven on Mother Earth, but now I say heaven omni Mother Earth, so that we're all living in that state of unconditional love, which Christ talks about is heaven. It's not a place, but it's a state. And it's very much the reflection of what you talk about, the importance of doing that inner work, connecting with our greater self,
Yeah.
and living from that place and
Yeah.
letting go of all the other stuff that isn't really us. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. We've done it.
We done it. Thank you so much, Rick.
You know it.
You're a wonderful man. Yeah,
We'll be in touch with Messenger about the school.
absolutely.
I want to look at
You'll
that.
receive an email from us with our link to our community, as well as an affiliate link if you'd like to
Sure.
start your own. And yeah, we look forward to seeing how you grow in your mission.
All right. We
Thank
had
you
fun,
so much,
huh?
Rick.
It was
Okay.
great.